summer series. Today's continuing with a visit from Simi Institute. Nicole Pacheco, one of the counselors there, is going to be talking to us about some of their programs, cosmetology and welding. So I'm going to turn it over to Nicole. Thank you so much for joining us today, Nicole.
Oh, you are so welcome. Thank you for having me. And let me get something clicked off my screen here. There we go. Okay, so I want to start first by saying that for machine shop and welding, it's always nice to visit the teachers before you sign up. And I know that's something that DOI wants to make sure that that's the program for you that come to our campus and visit. But the teachers, and so we can give you information in the counseling office, but the teachers will help you with whatever career path you go in those two programs. And they'll let you know what job they get calls from employers like almost every day because those are very popular programs right now, and there's a lot of jobs. And there's more jobs than there are people. So those so I think machine shop and
Nicole, you're coming through very muffled. I'm not sure what's going on.
okay, let me try something. One second.
Nicole, I think it might be because you have multiple monitor. Maybe it's coming in multiple voice at the same time. I think that's might.
Okay, sometimes if I plug in another camera, it will.
Yep, you sound just fine. Oh, now you mute. We're not hear you anymore.
Can't hear me anymore.
Oh, we can hear you now.
Okay,
Okay,
let's try that.
Yeah,
okay,
it's
okay,
better now.
okay, good. So welding and cosmetology are what you guys want to hear about. But with machine shop, sometimes students on our welding list might start with machine shop because there's skills there and they can get jobs pretty fast, even before finishing the program, while they're on our welding waiting list. Because the welding waiting list is at least a year long. I recommend the day program for welding because the teacher is really, really good. He's very connected to employers and what's needed in the industry. And at night, we have substitute teachers a lot. So they're not at that same caliber because we don't have the same one all the time. And the level of skills are not as high. So it's worth doing the day program if you have to change your work schedule. And because it's about a year wait, it gives you some time to plan how you can do that. Both of the programs take around a year. The night program may take a little bit longer, just because with the day, you're getting a lot more supervision from that teacher, and he's right there. If you have questions, he's really good about helping. And if you are interested, it's good to put your name on our welding waiting list and then finish whatever steps you have with DOR so that while you're working on that process, your name's already on the list. So that time's already on your side. And then just make sure you check your emails, your text messages. We started texting people because they weren't always answering phone calls when we would call to say, you've been selected, you're next on the welding list, come register. So I don't know why phone calls don't always get answered or voicemails aren't set up. So you definitely want to make sure you're checking regularly, especially as it gets after 6 months to see if you're getting a call. Because we try people on the list and then we move on if we've tried multiple times and we're not hearing back from people. So if you change your mind, that's fine. It's good to get your name on the list because once you get the phone call, you may say, oh, forget it, I'm not interested anymore. And that's fine, and then we go to the next person. So if you're interested, it's great to do. And there's a hand raised. Julia, do you have a question? Is that a hand? Oh, no, that's my my own hand thing. Let's see what else about welding. Our teacher, his name is Kevin Gordon. And if you go to our website, and I'll share my screen in a minute when I pull up the page. Actually, okay. His contact information is on our webpage. along with the contact for machine shop. Okay, now, can you have it so I could share my screen, please?
Nope, we don't see anything yet.
Oh, I'm already on that where I could share it.
Yes, you should be able to share if you click on the bottom.
Second.
You see what
Oh,
she
there it
share
is.
on
Share
the
screen.
very
Got it.
bottom. Yeah.
Oh, I was missing that. Thank you very much. Okay, are you able to see that?
Not yet. Oh, there you go.
Okay, great.
There we go. Yeah, we can see it now.
Okay, good. So, on this welding page, it's under manufacturing trades. It has here where the wait list is and the interest form, so your contact information can go in there. And then Colleen Trubia in the counseling office is a great contact. She maintains the welding waiting list. And then the teacher's information should be on here as well if you have any questions. And if it isn't on here, I'm going to give you his extension so you have it. Might be on the flyer. Yeah, I'll just give you his extension. His name is Kevin, last name Gordon, Gordon. And these are the different certs you can get that you can test for so you can get these different careers. So it's good to talk to him to find out what's available in each career, which one you think you would like better. And then it also shows you what the session dates and times are. So Monday through Friday, you might just want the 8 to 12 shift because you want to work afternoon and evening, or Friday 12:30 to 4:30. So there's different shifts. You just have to be here for the 4 hours. If students aren't attending, then they can get dropped because there's a waiting list. So we can't have students just take up a spot and willy-nilly come and go as they please, because then we can't get anybody else in because we only have so many welding booths. So that's why attendance is super important, and why instead of letting students attend whenever they wanted during the day, they're locked into a 4-hour shift to commit to. And I'm looking up Kevin's name or his extension, and it is 1765. So our phone number, extension 1765, and his classroom is in room 605. So when you come to our campus, the rooms are numbered. He's in 605, and he's here during the day, 8 to 4:30. Okay, and then I can move over to cosmetology unless people have any welding questions, because he's the best at answering your specific questions.
Why don't we talk about both and then we can answer any questions at the end? Is that okay, Nicole?
Absolutely. Okay,
Thanks.
sure. Okay, so that was welding. And now I'm going to jump on to cosmetology. And with cosmetology, there's the day classes that are Monday through Friday. And then we have evening and Saturday classes. And the schedules are here. Let's see. There are the prerequisites right here when you go to the website. There's a related science class. It's very short, but that helps you pass the state board exam. You know, how to sanitize, disinfect, all the things you have, like your combs and all that. So that's an important class to get done first. You do that. And then you decide if you want to go into barbering, which if you become a barber, you have to do the full cosmetology program. That's the full program. And then you're also learning how to do the shaves and the men's haircuts. So you can do everything, hair, skin, nails, and men's hair if you pick the barbering program. Cosmetology, hair, skin, and nails, you're licensed to do everything. And that's a 1,000-hour program. Esthetician is 600 hours, and you're learning how to work on skincare. So you're giving facials, you're learning how to do makeup applications. So there's different opportunities with esthetician, but you're licensed only for skincare. Manicurist, you're only able to do nail care. So that program's only 400 hours. And all of the programs are popular right now. A lot of people want to be able to have their own business and work from home, and they're making little salons in their homes. And there's a lot of money to be made in that, but you do have to get through the program and be diligent and get through it. It's not difficult. It just, requires being there every day and getting all your operations in. And there's 3 levels for each. Okay, and then, so you'll start with some classes in the classroom. And then, so that way you have your teacher on campus in the classroom. If you have any questions, you're not on the salon floor. You have the privacy of the classroom. You're working on each other and getting used to it. And then as your skills develop, then you're going to be moved to the salon floor. And that's where you keep working and studying in your book on Mondays or theory days. So you're learning things in the text that you could be learning all week with your book work. And when you don't have clients, you have doll heads that you can practice what you're learning on. And then you have clients coming in. So the weekend and evening program has more clients. So it's more real world, fast pace. You're going to learn how to do a lot of stuff really quick, which is great if you like that fast pace. In the daytime, it's a little slower, but we've been getting a lot more clients than we have in the past. So, either one, you just have to get to the 1,000 hours and do so many operations in the full program before you're able to get your proof of training from us and sit for the state board exam. So for those programs, you'll take a state board exam at the end, which is it's mostly theory that you've learned. And your teachers will give you a class preparing you for that state board exam. Okay, so you'll be ready to take it and pass it. And let's see, what else? And then if you do want any accommodations, it's different in colleges and adult schools, because if you had an IEP, that was just for high school. That was for a free and appropriate public education. So you would get more services to get the diploma. But when it comes to learning skills for a career, you have to have the skills. So the accommodations are more limited. So you might have, so we can give like extra time if that's something the state board exam will allow. So for every one of the programs we have on our campus, if you want accommodations, you apply in our counseling office, and then you list on there what accommodations you're requesting. And then there's a meeting with the counselor, assistant principal, and teacher to discuss it, to make sure that, yes, we can accommodate you because we want to help you, but we want to make sure that you have access. We don't guarantee success, but that you have access, the accommodations are reasonable, so that when you finish the program, you're able to keep the job. You'll have the skills for that job. So if you're interested in accommodations, it's better to apply for them before you start the program, so that we can have a plan in place for teachers, for your teachers. Okay, and then there's another extension you can write down if you have questions about accommodations, and that would be contacting Chris, K-R-I-S, last name Owen, and her extension is 1615. Okay, now with cosmetology, there's different days that we start a class. So you go in as a cohort, as a group. You start in level 1, then your class moves to level 2 and level 3. So on here, we have our start dates of the next programs that are going to be starting. So for here, we have the next class is going to be in August. So if you're interested in that, then you definitely want to contact your DOR counselor too, because these programs, especially in the daytime, they fill up. And I'm trying to think what other questions you guys may have. Oh, here's another contact. If you have questions about any of the cosmetology programs, this person, Carmen Beck, is very helpful. Her extension is 1610. So let's see. And then when you're done with our programs, any of the programs you take here, we have a job developer that helps to find a job for you. So she has a job board for our programs. You can look up jobs. She has a job search. She does resumes all the time. So instead of having to find the right template for the resume, you could, and having to deal with how do I word it? What are my skills? she'll help you because she has a lot of professional templates. And so you could send her your resume, come in person, and then she will doctor that up and help you so that you'll already have a really nice resume. Even when you're still in the program, it's nice to get the resume going, and then you can add your certificate to it at the end. But you can be applying for jobs in the meantime if that's what you want to do. So she'll help you with your resume, she'll help you with interview skills and job placement. So we do have salons that call her, just like for welding, we have a lot, she gets a lot of job requests. And let's see what else. So she has resources on her site. So this page that she has is on the website. And Sandy, our job developer, is off in the summers, but there are some days that she will come in. So for students that are enrolled, they can always email her for an appointment on days that she's here over the summer. So do you guys have any questions so far? Now that I've covered both?
We have some question in the chat. One student was asking if the cosmetology is a 1 year program.
Yeah, it would take about a year if you're a day student. It takes a little bit longer if you're at night because they don't need as many hours per week.
And she was also asking if the tuition include equipment for the cosmetology program.
Very good question. Yes, I forgot that. Books, supplies, makeup, the hair products, all of that, that's included in those 3 payments. And uniforms too. The uniform, shirt, all of that are included.
Hi, sorry, can I ask a question real quick?
Yes.
So you said the different start dates, so that goes on for a certain amount of time. So like if you were to start in October, how long would it last?
Just add a year.
Okay.
Be done by that next October with good attendance.
And
Like,
um, what would you say the difference between day classes and night classes is?
well, the day classes have younger people, like in their 20s mostly, and there's more of them. There's more students in the day. The night has fewer students, and they're usually older, like 30s, 40s, 50s, some still in their 20s, but they might work a day job, and so they're here at night. So it's a little bit more mature of a group of students. And they definitely, when they get there, they're working because they're getting a hair color and then a haircut and then a blow dry. So you're getting lots of practice at night. In the daytime, it's slower with customers, but we started, the person at the front desk has really been advertising it and following up. And so when I've been to the salon in the daytime, in the last week, almost every student had a client. So it's good to see they're getting a lot of clients now too. But with both programs, when you're done with your classes that are on campus and you have that foundation and you're in the salon, when you don't have a client, you can be working on things. And if you have that stick-to-itness where you can kind of, maybe give yourself a break if you need it, but then get right back on, flashcards, study, study, study. And there's apps that you can have that will ask you questions every day, different like kind of state board questions, then you're going to feel really prepared. Because you want to make the best use of your time, because once you come out of school and you're hired at a salon, no one's going to stand by and help you. You're on your own. So it's good. Some students like to kind of sit back or, take a break or watch, but you really have to get used to working because you make money by how efficient and quickly you can work. So if people really take advantage of the time they have here and make it as worth it, then they're just going to be that much ready to hit the ground running and make money.
And we also have Julian asking, would training in the eyebrow waxing and microblading available in cosmetology program or the esthetician program?
Oh yeah, okay. So yes, eyebrow waxing. What was the other one? Microblading. I'll have to find out if we have microblading. Some things we do whatever state board wants done. You'll learn about it, but I don't know. I don't think we have that on our salon menu. If you do microblading, let me find out. Hold on. And what was the other one?
It was just eyebrow waxing and microblading.
Okay, eyebrow waxing for sure. Hi, I have a quick question. Microblading, do the estheticians practice that? Dermaplaning, is that similar? Okay. Okay, thank you. Okay, bye. Okay, so they do dermaplaning, but not microblading. So if you have questions on that, I would call 1610 Carmen Beck. That's who I just talked to. She's really good at all the fancier things that we may have added that I didn't even think we put in there. So dermablading.
Yep. And then we have, is there a waiting list for cosmetology program or only the welding program?
Right now for the next class for cosmetology, we don't have a waiting list. But DOR is really good at helping students and kind of working with our DOR counselor to know in advance if a student's coming in, so that we can reserve a spot. So if you're thinking about adding cosmetology and you want to join the August class or the October, then let your DOR counselor know so that we can get an email just saying this person's going to register. And then we work on the paperwork on the back end with DOR later.
Nicole, for the welding programs, what kind of, are there companies local that they have connection with for jobs? How do students find jobs for welding?
They don't have to find them. They're going to be asked probably all the time that they're in the classroom.
Oh, really?
Yeah, there's local companies that come in, but there, and even some of the machine shops in town will want welders. But we also have, I think it was like maybe 6 years ago, we had an employer from Texas fly in, and he was saying they needed welders so bad there. They were going to pay their room and board, food, training. They were going to train them on the job. So
Wow.
it's really any state you go to, welding's in demand. I mean, even the ice rinks, if they need a gate fix, it's not closing, it has to be welded, it might be the person comes in, fixes the little door and charges, $300 and then leaves, There's all kinds of jobs that welders can
Wow.
work
Okay.
on. Yeah. So, yeah, there's definitely always going to be jobs coming. So students can be kind of picking, go, no, this is the job I want. I want to wait for that job. And with cosmetology, you have to kind of work your way, get an assisting job, work maybe at Supercuts and just do haircuts, get experience. You may not make a lot of money. You have your hourly wage plus tips, and people don't tip as much there. But one of our students was at Supercuts, didn't make a lot of money, but then was able to get an assisting job. And that person paid her a lot of money. And then to go from Simi to Thousand Oaks, she even gave her gas, $50 a week gas money. And so sometimes you get really nice jobs out of it, but you have to be patient. And I know for weddings, if you're really good at makeup, a lot of times people aren't going to haggle. It's like, no, she's good. I want her. It's $125 for each bridesmaid. And then you just clear all this money, in one day. And so weddings are popular for that, but you have to just start and build and learn skills. And then there's classes you can take on the outside when you get your basic license from us. Then there's all these other places and other schools that will have advanced training, maybe bridal updos, or advanced makeup classes. And you can keep taking those classes so that you're able to increase what you can charge.
And how many students do you usually accept for each program each year, Nicole?
It depends on the program. Like the medical programs, surgical tech only 18. CNA maybe 8 is the top. cosmetology, it depends on how many seats are open at the salon floor. So if we have students that a bunch of them graduate, we can take in more students. But if we still have some that are finishing hours, then we have to take fewer. But I think they try to take in at least 20 students each session. And then with welding, as soon as a chair opens up or one of the booths open up, the next person on the waiting list is called. Because people finish at all different times in the welding department. Just like in cosmetology, once you're on the floor, someone with good attendance is going to finish quick. And someone that said, oh, I have this or I have that, I need to take a session off, because I have this going on or whatever. And then they take a session off, that they lose a lot of time, and then they have to come back and do another session. So, depends on how motivated you are to finish those two programs.
It sounds like for welding, you also recommend they start machine shop if they have to be on the waiting list for welding.
And the nice thing about machine shop is they learn blueprint reading, which is a skill that you can get, good money for. Some jobs will say they want someone to know how to read blueprints. So, but with machine shop, Megget right here in Simi, there's a lot of businesses that are just waiting to hire people. So machine shop, there's basic machine shop, and then there's CNC where you're learning how to program computers on how to make parts, different things that you wanted to make. And that's the fancier, expensive machine. And then there's an advanced machine shop. So if students just finish basic machine shop and blueprint reading, they have enough skills to get hired in one of these local area jobs. So you don't have to commute far. There's a lot of the industries here. There's a lot of businesses. And then the people that get hired is with the basic machine shop certificate, they keep coming to school here. And then they get their CNC certificate. And then maybe they learn Gibbs or Mastercam and get more advanced. Or there may be some that do basic, maybe CNC, but then their name gets called on the welding waiting list. So they might be working in a machine shop while they're here doing welding. So they already have a good foundation of other skills that they have on their resume and a job where they're getting paid to learn and keep their skills up, rather than, working somewhere retail or somewhere else while you go to welding. You're working somewhere that's part of that same kind of professional community. And oh, by the way, there's no waiting list for machine shop. You would just let your DOR counselor know you want to be in that program, and we can get that going right away.
Is that a program they can just leave if they get called for welding? Or would they have to?
Yeah, they could, or they, yeah. I mean, DOR will have paid, but if you guys are fine with that, we'll do whatever you want. A lot of times with machine shop, it's not as expensive as welding. So if they were in there, just let's say you paid for 3 months of machine shop, and then they signed up for 3 more months, and they only got through a month and a half of that 3 months, but their name was called. You might just say, focus on welding. You did enough machine shop. It's whatever you guys want us to do.
Okay.
But usually, because it takes around a year for welding, you can get at least to CNC. Students can at least get a lot of good training in machine shop. And then the students in machine shop can be taking national certification tests, which look really good. You don't have to have them to be a machinist, but it shows that you have the skill. And that Haas, which is a big company out of Oxnard, that I think they make most of the machines across the United States, the CNC machine, they give us a lot of money every year because the industry needs people so badly. So they pay for all of those national certification tests through the National Institute of Metalworking Skills. And then in counseling, we have Colleen in the front office, but Colleen Trubia, the one you'll probably, if you're a DOR consumer, you'll be working with her more. She's very helpful. She proctors all those tests. So that's how you could take those tests for free. So Haas is very generous.
Great. All right. Any more questions before we finish our series today? And thank you all for attending.
Yeah, thank you
Right.
all for listening about our programs.
Thank you. Okay, thank you, Nicole, for coming. For everybody else on the call, next week our series is on financial aid. It's a great one. We have a speaker from our Park College that's going to be telling us about financial aid programs. So hopefully you'll be able to join us. Thank
Thank
you,
you.
everybody. Have a good week.
Thank you so much, Nicole.
Thank you, Nicole.
Bye.
Bye bye.
Bye.
Thank you.